Welcome to episode 2 of Play Some D with your host, Coach D, or just D. But this is episode 2, 1 week later from episode 1. But yeah, this is episode 2 of Play Some D. The goal for me here is a little bit of consistency. I would like to have some consistency with this. There's a lot of things I like to enjoy to talk about, want to talk about. So podcast, once again, is just a variety of different topics that can vary from week to week. It will not always be about sports. It will not always be about movies. It will not always be about music. But those three things are probably what majority of the time, well, it's only episode 2. How am I gonna know that? But I'm guessing that's probably what I'm gonna talk about the most. But it could vary from week to week, blah blah blah. It could vary from week to week depending on what's going on. I would like to do some popular things, things that are active in the news realms, or just some cool things that I may just want to talk about in general. Today's episode, we're going to jump through a little bit of politics from Trump's second impeachment to some stimulus talk. Working from home, that's been a topic of discussion. So working from home is something I want to speak about. And then, of course, we have to talk about Lover's Day. Valentine's Day, aka Lover's Day, what I like to call it. That's gotta be talked about as well, as that just happened 2 days ago, and people had it over the weekend. Just Valentine's Day over the weekend that's like Christmas. That's when you should have Valentine's Day, over the weekend. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tip this baby off with the first quarter. First quarter is going to be, let me get it up here on the board. It is going to be Donald Trump's, do I have to spell right? Impeachment. I hope it's spelled right. Let's spell right. Impeachment number 2. This was big in the news, and I actually went out this weekend, and my cousin, he spoke of it, and I didn't really think he was, and I didn't really follow it because honestly I didn't think it was necessary. The new president is in. Whether he did something bad or not is neither here nor there, because obviously, as we've seen with him being acquitted by the Senate for the second time, that it's not going to be about if you did something right or wrong as far as getting the verdict correct. It's almost, it doesn't compare to like a criminal case or jury. It's different. It's red versus blue voting for each other. And I forgot, I was listening to something, and some guy said all 3 of the impeachments of his lifetimes, most people are just towing the party lines, from Clinton to then the 2 Trump impeachments. It's you're not really moving the needle with any type of conviction. And once again, I didn't watch it, but the jokes, Saturday Night Live did a segment on it. The jokes that just came out with the defense lawyers for Trump, I guess they were like lazy. I probably should have watched it, but I just honestly just felt like it was a bit of a waste for me. I knew what was going to happen, but I guess for a little bit of entertainment, well, I probably go watch some YouTube clips. But no need to, honestly. You kind of knew what was going to happen. Some things that I were interested of, and I actually have it up here, is who actually prosecuted him, or the House managers that laid out the case. And the lead impeachment manager was Jamie Raskin of Maryland. He's a member of the Oversight and Reform Committee. We got Diana DeGetti, David Sicilian of Rhode Island, Johan Castro, Texas, Eric. Oh, I knew Eric Swalwell was on there, California, and Ted Lieu of California, and Stacy Plaskey of the Virgin Islands, Madeline Dean of Pennsylvania, and Joe Nugas of Colorado. I was interested. He's the first. Joe Nugas is the first African American elected Congress from Colorado. That's pretty interesting. I was just interested to know who those people were. That was kind of one of the things that I did check on, just because it's I don't know. I just think it's interesting to see. I guess I don't exactly know how they are selected, but it's interesting to see who represented that team that made the decisions to put the case forward, and so on and so forth. Also, with that being said, is that the I guess the witnesses. Another reason why it's interesting to know who the managers are is because they were going to call witnesses, and I don't know. I couldn't imagine, and I guess that's what happened, because it looks like it says the Senate surprise vote on Saturday morning to allow witnesses threaten to upend the speedy trial that they wanted to do. They took a 2-hour break. So I'm guessing they just sat down and talked and said, look, it doesn't matter what the witnesses say. We're not going to change how we think. I mean, my guess is that that's how it goes. But these managers say they have no regrets. We're not, I guess, demanding that some witnesses come up there and testify or whatever they were going to do to try to prove that Don shouldn't be able to run for president again or get all his presidential benefits. I just think that at this point he was elected, and however people feel about it, either way, this is not the time or place where I talk about that, but he was president. Each side, he got picked. So unless you can do something to prove it, unless you can get the rigged system or whatever you want to call it to get him out of there, to get him out of that position of being able to run for, get him out that position to be able to run for president again, or just have any of those presidential perks, I think is the word that some people might be a little upset about. She just shouldn't have been elected in the first place, I guess you can say, and that there needs to be more done with the red and blue sides, or Democrat and Republican, if you want to get things done. With that said, on the side of red and blue is that Mitch McConnell, which I have here too. Mitch McConnell is just going in on Donald Trump, talking about he's responsible for it, but he voted not to, so it's just how it's interesting, and I guess it's a little bit more transparency now that people with social media and whatnot, everybody can see things with the government. Whether that changes anything, I'm still skeptical about, but at the end of the day, it needs to be more of an everybody thing, not a red and blue Democrat and Republican, to get things straightened out and organized a little bit better. Nothing will never be perfect, but things like this, like Mitch coming out and saying stuff after the fact. I'll never tell Donald Trump he's responsible for the riots, but it's politics. I guess politics as usual. So yeah, I think just on the flip side of it, my opinion would be that I think they had a better chance to get him on the call with the Georgia secretary or whoever that was that he asked for the votes for. Forgot exactly who that person was, but they probably had a better chance of getting him on that call than this, because I guess you can probably put towards some more evidence. Where I guess in this case, a lot of people were saying there's really no proof to say that one person can dictate the actions of others, which I get. I totally see something in that argument for sure. And then they put up the whole video of Democrats saying the same thing: "Go fight, go." I did hear some snippets of that, so it's not the same, but you get their little push, their little fight back. So it was kind of tough, and I guess witnesses may or may not have changed that. I guess some people feel that way. I really don't. I think the representatives that weren't going to convict, it's there. Actually, yeah, you get this. There's a whole list. You can see exactly how the senators voted. It was Richard Burr, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, Ben Sasse, Pat Toomey. They were the 7 Republicans that voted guilty, and Angus King and Bernie were the 2 independents. And then the 43, obviously the Ted Cruz's, Tom Cotton, Mitch, Todd Young, Tommy Tuberville. How did he even get in? Is just wild. Rick Scott's here. Rob Portman's in Ohio. Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of cool. You can see and kind of if people wanted to hold their their senators accountable, you can kind of look and say, you can kind of go, and they're kind of under that microscope now for people that care about this, that think Trump might have did something. You can go look into their records. Like I said, that whole transparency thing it's kind of cool now with politics. People are paying a little more attention. I don't think it's a lot of more attention. I don't know if it'll move the needle anytime soon. I think some more rough, turbulent times will probably have to happen for there really to be some change into a direction that I think could help everybody. So I don't want to go on and on about this. I probably could talk a little more, but end of the day, Trumpy will be running again in, what's that, 2024? 2024? He'll run again, or his son, or somebody like that. But they'll probably, pretty sure Nikki Haley is going to carry that ticket. She shouldn't have a problem doing that. But hopefully I'll be on some 100-something podcast, and I'll be talking about that. That'll be cool in 3 years from now. Talking about the election in 2024, February 2024. I could be talking about the election on my, I can't do the math. That probably should be my maybe not quite 200, but close to 200 podcasts if I'm consistent. All right, so let's see here. We got let's get Q2, staying in the politics realm a bit. Let's get Q2 cracking. No breaks needed, no timeout, no commercial timeout, no sponsor clicks. That stimulus package. That stimulus. Let me clear out some stuff here. Let's get to the third stimulus package. So Big Joey B, Joe Biden, that $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. This will be the third round of federal stimulus checks for Americans. I'll get into I'll try to get into, it looks like I have a slight breakdown of what's in the relief package, but what everybody cares about, at least most Americans, is that $1,400. Jay Powell, the Fed chairman, he has been constantly saying, get some money in people's pockets. I think when he makes that final call, that it looks like everything is cranking back up. The heat, the economy looks good to him. I think that's probably when talks will slow down a little bit. But this may be the last regardless. But we'll see, depending how everything looks. There's been some reports of, people are looking for people to hire, but people aren't taking jobs for whatever reasons, or maybe people want better jobs, more money. Who knows exactly? But there's just been some talk about employers are looking for people, but they can't find people to hire. That sounds so oxymoronic to me. But anyway, the $1,400 direct payment was promised to be $2,000 not too long ago. I'm pretty sure Georgia in the runoff election voted for $2,000 checks, not $1,400 checks, but the $600 from Trump and his buddies, and now into $1,400 from Biden and his crew, now gives us our $2,000 for the people that qualify. Then the other talking point is how low of the barrier do you take the money down to get into people's pockets. I understand it all. I get it from every single standpoint. You can't please everybody, but I just think after how bad it was, how unprepared we were as being the number one country in the world, that the $1,200 for however many months was pretty crazy. Essential workers been out there busting their butts. I go into the grocery store seeing the same people all the time, and they've been there since day one. Not only people in the it's just crazy. So like, they just for their sake, just to make sure, I don't know how much they make or if one of the managers, but they all deserve that cash, depending on, no matter how much they deserve that extra bit of help. They've been working, a lot of people have been working really hard out there, and I don't know if they have the abilities to put it exactly into the people they want to do. It seems like they don't, because I guess all the unemployment agencies are all like crippled. Nobody could figure out how to get, that was the original $600 a week, so they couldn't figure out how to calculate everybody's money to give them the correct amount of unemployment. It just, they obviously can't pinpoint where the money should exactly go, so you just got to give it to everybody. I think that's the smartest thing to do, and however it gets dispersed, it's kind of up to the citizens. They deserve that. After some people, it's hard. Some people, was the coronavirus 2020 was great for. Most people it wasn't. A lot of people died. So people deserve to be able to get the $1,400. It should be $2,000 in my opinion, but get that $1,400 and do whatever they want to it, whether it's put it back into the economy, spend more money, or maybe invest it, or try to start a business, or do whatever they need to do in that aspect of it. The payments, I'm just thinking in terms of like, as far as getting it to people immediately, should be more of the biggest factors. That $600 wasn't that much, so you really want to get the $1,400 out as quickly as possible. It just shouldn't be that much discussion about it. If you guys you're gonna get it approved, obviously it's not, but they think it's gonna happen. If it does happen, it should just be quicker. It should just be quicker, so you just have an idea of what might be next, to see where that money will go, and then you have to make the decisions. I just think the holding off and waiting and talking is just, I think a lot of people are sick of talking. A lot of people are sick of what they should do, shouldn't do. I just think it's time to do what you say you're gonna do, and then adjust accordingly or have a plan. Do whatever you gotta do accordingly. So as far as what's in that, 1.9 trillion is just a lot, and I'm sure Biden hopes that's it, because I'm sure he don't want to be responsible for the deficit moving forward. So what's in it, from the looks like, is that obviously those stimulus checks. It'll more than likely be some kind of unemployment extension. Again, looks like possibly through September, maybe. There'll be a temporary tax credit in there. It wants to increase the child tax credit to $3,000 for children under age of 17 and $3,600 for under 6. So that'll be cool. Help people with kids. The whole kids and family thing is just the coronavirus. I mean, it's had to be tough for people with kids. So they should get something. The rent assistance and eviction moratorium has just been something I've been hearing a lot about in general, especially in California with the homeless population. And just if you see that explode anymore, I don't know how the major cities maintain. So extending that, but still just having some way of making sure those landlords get paid and people aren't buried in thousands and thousands of dollars of rent debt. Now the minimum wage increase is, I'm not exactly sure in there, but that's the talking point of it, to raise it to 15 per hour. So that's a whole different topic, but that's in there. Provide emergency paid leave. The small business assistance is the other thing that the emergency paid leave obviously is a big thing. I won't dwell on that. But small business assistance, I know a number of people that have small businesses. I know a lot of people that it's rough on. So having that hope for them, or even for the small businesses that's doing well, that were prepared or just got lucky, whatever the case may be, to get some assistance, make sure everybody goes forward in those specific states or local markets that really need their small businesses to keep running, because Amazon can't sell us everything, and going to those gigantic big restaurants every day, or gigantic big restaurants, but those restaurants that we all go to, we want to go to support our local restaurants. So just for them to have some money to be able to keep operating would be awesome. Aid for state and local governments. That's probably a whole nother topic too. State and local and federal gotta get on the same page at some point. Help for the hungry, and then vaccination distribution is probably the big one. The plan would invest $20 billion in the national vaccination program. Biden had the big, I forgot what the number was, 100 million in 100 days. Oh, I forgot, whatever it was. But he had some lofty goals for getting everybody vaccinated. Would it be in 2 shots? It's a whole different monster. So I had $200 billion to make sure people get vaccinated. So hopefully the virus gets under control. Will be dope. That's the one that money comes in, and it should help get kids back to school. Teachers feel comfortable. Public health workers feel good. Well, most of those people are getting vaccinated either way, but just to be able to have a good, robust rollout for it, that's in that package. But if it doesn't get approved, I would be surprised what does, because I think the Republicans want like a $600 billion one that pretty much cuts all of that into a third, probably. Whether that works or not, I don't know. probably could sit down for a week, I think, and probably crunch the numbers and see if it all makes sense. But that ain't my job. I just have a baseline, gloss over the top opinion of it, and what just makes sense from the outside looking in. But for the most part, it 1.9 trillion is a lot of money, and I can see why anybody can be skeptical about that. But it looks like at this point, the coronavirus, it went big. It's probably not going home, so U.S. gonna have to go big or go home. I guess a little sports reference there. So yeah, halftime. That's second quarter, but obviously, once again, no halftime show. I ain't got none of that stuff going on, so we just gonna jump right in to the third quarter, which is a topic that I've been talking about for a long time, and that's working from home, or work from home, or as we know it now, WFH. Everybody should know those acronyms now. That is something that we've all been saying a lot since this whole thing started. But the main thing I wanted to start off with work from home is just the companies, the big companies that have no plans to return to the office, and kind of how that affects commercial real estate market. I think it goes hand in hand, because I always felt like, and I think if it was done properly from the beginning, because once most companies, I work in IT, so most companies for a while now have had the internet and the capabilities to sustain work from home for years now. Most companies, but I have thoughts about it. Other people have thoughts about it, but a lot of companies want to see you. They want to make sure you're working. They want to make sure you're doing things. And then the coronavirus essentially just speeded up the of what should have been happening, where there shouldn't be, in my opinion, 200-300 people in the office. You shouldn't need gigantic office space. You should have, I always thought there are creative ways to work in the office. Nobody needs to drive in traffic for hours. A lot of people move away from their work. A lot of people work in the cities. A lot of people move far away from work to get cheaper housing and have to drive far in through traffic in most major cities all over. And that eats up time. And I just figured that companies would have been made a way to help their employees work from home comfortably if they wanted to. A lot of people, that's the other flip side of that, is that a lot of people, I know this is so super surprising. A lot of people are just can't wait to go back to the office. And I'm just like, what? Like, why? Why would you want to go back to the office? Like, see the same people over and over again every single day. Like, go to the grocery store. Like, go to Target. Go to your local Walmart or something. I don't know. Go eat out. Like, I'm not sure. But to want to go to work, I get it. You want to get some camaraderie, some social. I do understand. I was just surprised how many people weren't taking in that work from home as much, and not been probably because most people may not have been used to it. I've been used to it. It's been a thing. I've supported people work from home. I've worked from home, and it just always made sense to work from home or even start your day. I used to work at somewhere where a few people would start their day at home and drive in when traffic went down, and that's like. That's how you be smart, like work smarter, not harder. So big companies, Google, they extend their work from home to September. Microsoft, Uber, American Express, Airbnb, a lot of big companies, but the biggest one to me was Salesforce, and they look like they have 9,000 San Francisco workers, and it looks like they actually have a Salesforce, I think it's called Salesforce Tower. And they're probably not going back in any like real doesn't sound like they're going back in any kind of capacity anytime soon. So it's like now, instead of being in an environment that made sense for commercial real estate, where everybody could kind of get a piece of it, I guess WeWork could probably fall into this category a little bit. But anyway, and something like that, where you have a good amount of workspace where people can come into the office, people can still work from home, and then you don't fall into this. And I don't know what Salesforce's rent or however that goes, or if they own, whatever the case may be. But some people obviously rent out office space. So if you don't have people in that office building and you may not plan to go back, that could possibly be very, very upending for that real estate market. There's not a lot of huge numbers that show that, because I don't think really people would even want to see that at this point. It could be grim. It could not be good, especially in some major cities, and then especially with people actually just leaving the city that they work in now. Like, coronavirus has sent a lot of people out of their cities they work in to either go back to where they're from or just moving somewhere they want to be or that's cheaper. So it'll be interesting as it unfolds. But like I said, I do think this could have been avoided years ago. Coronavirus did just speed up this process of working from home, making people work from home, use meetings, Zoom meetings, and things like that. And people could have been comfortable with Zoom meetings. It's so wild that people just aren't comfortable. A lot of people just aren't comfortable with Zoom meetings. That's kind of strange to me. But once again, I see that. Been doing them for a while. I've been using Zoom since 2013 or something like that, and a bunch of different remote using software. So it's, to me, it's interesting hearing those stories and listening to them, and we'll see if it does fade, that people are just like, man, I'm ready to go back into the office. I don't want to work, sleep, and do it. I don't want to work and sleep, because we'll all be going back to the gym and being able to get out and do stuff like that. So, but working and sleeping, just spending all that time, whether it's in your room or your house, it could be a little crazy. So, also along those lines is like moving forward for, like, kids will go back to school. So obviously kids will go back to school, and women won't have to take the grunt of child care or school. I don't even know what they call it now. It's like school child care momming while working. It's like a long, crazy title. So, but if moms are still working from home, that has to be juggled, because kids still get back home. Most kids, they leave at 7, be back home by 2. So you'll parents will still be working in some aspects when their kids get back home from school, and they may still be working from home. So even if it's not watching and working for 8 hours, there'll still be at least a couple hours of doing that. And you want to greet your kids, and you're gonna get in and make sure they're settled and whatever the case may be. So that has to be sorted out as well. And that may be some parents may be like, yeah, I want to send my kid to daycare. I don't want to deal with that aspect of parenting while working. I want to be focused and things of that nature. So I think all that stuff needs to be considered when the time comes, when everything kind of smooths out a little bit more. But man, it's interesting. So when these big companies do it, it makes other companies think a little bit, and it also makes other people. And these big companies are always looking for people to work for them, so it also starts attracting talent. People, a lot of people want to work from home. So if my company is saying, oh, you guys are coming back in the office, when we come back in the office, like, well, man, maybe I just might go apply for somebody that's work from home. So that juggle will still be there. And I do think the working from home element of this has just begun. How it all sorts itself out, I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I think companies need to have their antennas up and paying attention to their employees and asking and listening to them, or things can unravel the wrong way for companies that may be doing successful work and just maybe being stubborn. So they have been for a while, so we'll see, if that change. So yeah, that's the end of the third quarter here, and we're gonna throw our foes up, how we do in sports, in sports and football for sure. Fourth quarter, close the game, it don't even matter. Basketball, you throw your foes up when the fourth quarter is winning time. And over here, placing D, fourth quarter is going to try to be the cooler, funner, a mixture of the cool, the fun, serious topics. They'll probably vary week to week, but I think appropriately this week is Valentine's Day is what it's going to be discussed for this fourth quarter. So Valentine's Day, like I said, I call it Lover's Day. And my take on it, I think it's a cool day. I really do. Some holidays we could kind of say are whack or not needed. This was probably important, and I think you kind of realize that, especially during like a pandemic. Last year, Valentine's Day was crazy. I remember how many people were just out and about, and to be able to, for somebody that, in the instance, that's been married for years, and people that been with each other through this tough time, especially if it was a tough time, and you could come out on this end of it where it looks like you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, and then be able to celebrate with that person a little bit on what could kind of be you guys' day, or taking care of each other, or being able to kind of you do these on anniversaries too, but Valentine's Day is like that day where you want to make sure you look out for each other. They say it's a women's holiday. I disagree. I think it's a couple's holiday. I think it's a lover's holiday. I think it's for both people. The woman should be showered, obviously, but I think both people appreciate each other that day. I really do. But that could be me. But this year, I think it matters the most, and I think you realize why days like this matter. And I kind of felt that way about Christmas too, especially Christmas, Thanksgiving, yeah, but Christmas too. Last year, people wanted to make sure they saw their family and connected with their family in some way, shape, or form. But I kind of just wanted to run through just some silly Valentine's Day facts. Saint Valentine was a real person. What else here? An imprisoned duke was the first to send a love letter on Valentine's Day. That was in 1415. That's a long time. This has been going on. French medieval duke. Valentine card didn't become tradition until 1849. That's very interesting. Hallmark began producing cards in 1913, and mass production began in 1916. In 100 years since Hallmark has been cranking them babies out. The first Valentine's chocolates were made by Cadbury. Was the first company to celebrate love with chocolates in heart-shaped boxes in 1861. Ooh. Flowers were sent as a non-verbal love message. Heart-shaped sweeps started out as throat lozenges. It is a popular for proposal day. Over 10,000 people in the UK propose to their partners on Valentine's Day each year. proposals on Valentine's Day. Don't do it. 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 I'm not with it. I think this is a day you take care of each other and you kind of just enjoy each other and do. I don't think you should. The wedding anniversary shouldn't be, or proposal anniversary. I guess people don't celebrate that, but Valentine's Day, like more so than anything, Valentine's Day is too predictable. Just too predictable. Women are ready for it. You want to surprise your girl? Don't. Over 220 million roses are bought Valentine's Day. Obviously, why the prices are so expensive. Juliet still receives thousands of letters. Women are gift givers in Japan. I remember reading this a few years back, and I made some jokes to a few lady friends of mine. But women making the first move on Valentine's Day, giving them homemade chocolates. That's gotta get to Japan. So that was something. A couple of those facts were just interesting. I just wanted to touch on, kind of just celebrate the day a little bit. As far as touching on like the actual holiday this year, a lot of people were concerned the economy in terms of what would happen with it. And a recent survey said that 45% of people said the pandemic would not expect how much they spend on Valentine's Day. And 62% of consumers feel like the holiday is important or somewhat important. 43% expect their partners to spend nothing on Valentine's Day, and nearly 54% said they would spend up to $100 this year. So, it is what it is in those terms, which makes you there's some hope there that everything looked like it worked out for Valentine's Day for everybody. Some other survey results: 26% said they decided to spend less on Valentine's Day this year. That's 12% they decided not to spend any money this year. 17% said they never spend money on Valentine's Day, and 43% I finally believe married couples should spend the most. Disagree with that. I think you spend what you can. You spend what you think the other person is. You spend, obviously you got a budget, and then you spend accordingly what you think that person, how much you wanna impress that person. Some other things that I read was that more than 4 in 10 members of Gen Z are willing to skip Valentine's Day in favor of money. That's Gen Z. Pockets might be tight. Understandably, in New York, I think they got, return to indoor dining came to like 25% capacity. That's huge. You wanted to get everything kind of sorted out Valentine's Day so people can come and eat at your restaurants. So that looks like that all went well. A couple other cool thing that I wanted to speak of on Valentine's Day is movies. Movies and music for Valentine's Day. Music is kind of without question. The music on Valentine's Day is, personal preference. Tons of love songs out there that you can go through. But the movies, I'm interested to see what the choice of movies are. I had a friend text me and mention Loving Basketball, and that's probably a really, really good Valentine's Day movie. The first one that pops up to me, obviously, is The Notebook. I don't know why, but that is the movie you would think that people would probably watch the most for Valentine's Day. But it's a couple here that I found. The Wedding Singers, an interesting one. Shakespeare in Love. I mean, sure. Definitely, maybe Romeo and Juliet. That's a little cheesy, but that makes sense. 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, why not? Now, Always Be My Maybe. This is a new movie. Came out newer love movie. came out in 2019. Ali Wong. This is an excellent movie. This definitely should go into a Valentine's Day movie queue for sure. This one's it. Moulin Rouge, The Big Sick. Did not see that. 50 First Dates. 50 First Dates is a Valentine's Day banger. Notebook does pop up first, but this one makes the most. 50 First Dates, I think, in my mind, makes the most sense for a Valentine's Day movie. Just a great movie, and it represents that love all the way through. Lost in Translation. Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Never seen that. So there's Jim Carrey in it. But the movies I find interesting because if it is just you do get a night or whatever the case may be, you put the flowers on, you do whatever you do. We just want to watch movies. Sometimes you just want to just sit and enjoy the company. And I think you could put on a funny, but what's better than a love story on Love Day? So Valentine's Day 2021, I believe, for a lot of people will be one to remember and to kind of keep that date on the calendar because you can't take the Valentine's Day for granted, especially after I said what some people feel like was the worst year of their lives, and if your partner in crime made it through thick and thick with you guys deserve to celebrate until the end for that, or at least have I didn't touch on that, or at least have the whole weekend to do it. So have a Friday to Sunday, a Valentine's Day weekend, just like Christmas. I think it's awesome. I think you could get a couple days. I always think Christmas should fall on Saturday. I think Christmas is best on Saturday, where Christmas Eve is on Friday. But if you get, I think Valentine's Day falling on Saturday is good too. But Sunday is could be argued that it's better because you have Friday, Saturday, and really have Friday and Saturday to do something, and then Sunday you can kind of enjoy just the day. And then this year it fell on President's Day. The Monday fell on President's Day. That makes the weekend, even during the pandemic right now, it was a busy weekend. So you get that Monday. Most people get that Monday off. So it's I think it was a really good holiday weekend for Valentine's Day to fall on this special occasion. And I don't have OT. There may be OT, so stick around. You never know. I might throw in a overtime. We might get down to the wire, and I missed that last free throw, and we go into overtime. So that's how you never know. But no OT today. But thanks for watching. This is a Play Some D podcast with D. Hope everybody stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay 6 feet apart. Push your gosh darn mask on. Cover up your nose, man. Cover up your nose, man. Mask might be coming off soon. Cover it up the nose, man. But no. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Smash them post notifications. And see you on the next one. Holla.